Let's get movieing! No? Okay. Hey guys, MasterCoX here. Now let me preface this discussion with a little disclaimer. I know that the movies are their own entity on their own alternative universe and that Akira Toriyama had little or nothing to do with the actual writing of the plots. This has been a conflict that has been going on with the community since the 1990s. Are the movies canon, or are they not canon? You know what? Instead of trying to come up with a hard, fast, serious answer, let's just have a little fun. Let's have a little fun and try and figure out what an alternative timeline where the movies are the actual story would look like. Big thanks to Vitas Varnas, I hope I got the pronunciation right, for the topic suggestion. I might have to take some liberties with a couple of the plot points, but remember, this is just for giggles, okay? First off, Dead Zone. That takes place before Raditz. Goku and Piccolo have a similar power level to what they had with the long-haired Saiyan. Gohan has his first rage burst against Garlic Jr. and sends that guy to the Dead Zone. The only way I see this being a problem is that Krillin wasn't that shocked when he first saw Gohan in the movie, so that's a little sticking point, but just a little one. World's Strongest takes place after the fight with Vegeta and Nappa. Now instead of dying to the hands of Nappa's break cannon, Piccolo clings onto life just barely, like he did with Frieza's Death Beam in the Namek saga. Death Beam. That didn't kill him. Frieza's got a really bad accuracy if you think about it. In any case, he's not going to get up anytime soon. The Goku-Vegeta fight then continues on as per normal. Now instead of Goku just sitting in a hospital idly for days and days and days, he gets a Senzu Bean straight away from Korin and gets his Zenkai boost. The gang then fight Dr. Wheelo as they did in the movie. Namek isn't mentioned because there is no need for a Namek because Piccolo and Kami are still alive. Then we have Tree of Might, and that gets a little sticky. You have to remove Tien, Chiaotzu, and Yamcha from the story, but that's not going to make too much of a major impact because if you think about it, Goku and Piccolo could take the minions quite easily. In fact, Goku did just that towards the end of the movie before he fought Turles. Piccolo would have gained strength as well, and Goku would have still been able to achieve the 10 times Kaioken. Lord Slug then arrives on Earth. Goku at this point is on the cusp of achieving his Super Saiyan form, which is that false Super Saiyan thing that we sort of see. He's just about there, not quite. Yeah, I actually know the real reason, that it has something to do with the animators not getting the color right. But let's just push that to one side for the purposes of this video, yeah? In order to achieve this, he's been doing rigorous training with Piccolo, almost to the point of him dying. Well, again. The movie then continues as per normal. At the end of the movie, Piccolo is frustrated that he cannot get much stronger than Goku, especially with this new form just about to happen. He goes to Kami to seek solace. Kami then suggests that he goes to King Kai's planet where Tien, Chiaotzu and Yamcha still are, because they're still dead. But the only proviso is that Piccolo would have to die, and take Kami with him, and therefore the Dragon Balls would be inert. After much soul searching, Piccolo and Kami agree to do it. Saddened by this news, Mr. Popo then informs the group about Namek and their Dragon Balls, and the fact that they have no limitation on death counts. And 3 wishes, mind you. So Bulma, Gohan and Krillin head off for Namek. Goku chooses to stay behind so he can perfect this Super Saiyan technique, because he's absolutely fascinated by this transformation, about what it could do. Once he's satisfied, he picks up a ship and heads off to Namek behind them. The events of Namek then play out as usual. Now I can understand why you might be confused about this, because in all the time of the 3 movies, Frieza could have gained the Dragon Balls, understood how to use the password, and attained immortality. And Vegeta wouldn't have had much more luck, so for the purposes of this video, I'm just gonna roll with the fact that they're struggling to do anything. With Cooler's Revenge, you don't really have to do anything. That just fits in quite cleanly. It takes place right after Trunks has come to Earth to inform Goku and the others about the heart virus and the artificial humans that will come in 3 years, so there's plenty of time to work with here. The next movie, Cooler's Return, takes place after Goku has fully mastered the Super Saiyan technique, and Piccolo has fully merged with Kami, albeit extremely grudgingly, in order to keep up with Goku's new power and to prepare for the upcoming cyborg threat. Vegeta has also attained Super Saiyan during his off-world training, and senses Kakarot's power nearby, and so joins the fray in order to test out his new ability. The movie then continues. Super Android 13 takes place after the Z-Warriors' initial spat with artificial humans 19 and 20, Dr. Gero. Goku has a mild heart episode, but it's not a full-on attack. At least not yet. Nevertheless, Goku needs to take some time out to rest. Senzu beans won't cut it here. Vegeta then dispatches number 19. Dr. Gero is still killed by 17 and 18, but his computer, in an act of bizarre defense, decides to activate the other machines, 13, 14, and 15. Having sensed their awakening, 17 and 18 along with 16's pod flee the scene so as to observe from afar what these weaker machines will do with the Z-Warriors. They're going to take their time, they don't have to do anything just yet, they can just watch the fireworks. Goku, Vegeta and Trunks dispatch 13, 14 and 15 as they do in the movie. However, due to the massive exertion of the Spirit Saiyan form, Goku's heart virus comes back with a vengeance, and he needs to be rushed home to recover and take the heart medicine. The Broly movie is a relatively easy fit, as it takes place in the 10 days between Cell's announcement of the games and the Cell games themselves. But what about Goku and Gohan being in their base forms instead of full power Super Saiyan? Well, that has something to do with Gohan's upcoming interview for a private school. Chi-Chi's not gonna let Goku and Gohan rock up to an interview with blonde hair. Blonde hair would hurt Gohan's prospects! Blonde hair is considered a sign of delinquency in Japan, by the way. The gang have a picnic to try and take their minds off the upcoming Cell games, and then the events of the movie play out as normal. BoJack Unbound is even easier. It takes place after the Cell games, with Goku still dying after his sacrifice of Cell. After defeating the pirates, Gohan decides to take on the mantle of Earth's protector, despite him wanting to concentrate on his studies, and chooses to go down the path of training, with a little smattering of studying here or there. Broly's second coming fits in a little bit harder than BoJack Unbound, but it still fits. Broly somehow survives his meeting with the Z-Warriors and crash lands on Earth, having probably followed the Saiyans back, and he and his pod are frozen in ice for several years. The only difference between this new timeline and the actual anime timeline is that Gohan is a lot stronger, having chosen to concentrate more on fighting than his studies. As a result, he's able to achieve Super Saiyan 2 quite easily, having taken on the mantle of Earth's defender. Bio Broly takes place after Super Buu is born, but before Goten and Trunks go into the time chamber to perfect the fusion dance. Where is Super Buu in all of this? Well, he could have just been having fun wreaking havoc with the villages nearby his house. Despite all this global carnage going on, 18 is still going to pressure Mr. Satan for the kickback money from the World Tournament. Goten and Trunks, being Goten and Trunks, are just going to follow along with the carnage because it just seems like fun. They then enter the facility and the movie carries on. Okay, so Broly died, so why isn't he causing trouble in hell? Well, fortunately they anticipated this and he is locked deep, deep, deep in the pits of hell. Goku and Pikkon would have seen to that. Fusion Reborn is also a really tricky film to place, but I think I have an idea. Now, I think that this is the timeline where the Super Spirit Bomb didn't properly work with Kid Buu. Instead of engulfing him entirely, the struggle is still strong, so Goku has to make the ultimate sacrifice. He chooses to detonate the Super Spirit Bomb, wiping out Kid Buu, himself, and Vegeta in the process. Luckily, Kibito Kai is able to escape with Mr. Satan and Majin Buu due to his instantaneous movement technique. Still having to deal with his past transgressions, Vegeta is again sent to hell. The movie then plays out from there, and do you remember the fact that the Z-Warriors couldn't decide on a wish? Well, that wish is used to wish Goku and Vegeta back to life. Wrath of the Dragon is thankfully an easy fit, as this takes place right after the Buu saga and before Super starts. There you go. Battle of Gods and Resurrection F are part of Super's storyline. What about episode of Bardock, Bardock Father of Goku, and the History of Trunks? They're supplemental stories. They are part of the official timeline. You see, it took a little bit of jimmying, especially with Tree of Might and Fusion Reborn, but I think we've got a somewhat coherent timeline. Remember, this is all for fun. This is not me stating this as a fact. It's just a little bit of hypothesis and just a laugh, really. So what do you guys think? Did you like my timeline? Do you have some suggestions for it? Or do you have a better timeline? I'd love to know. Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. So until next time, guys, be sure to like and subscribe. Until then, catch you later.